Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's talk about Kailash mountain, which can be called Meru mountain or Miranda. It can't be called the axis of spiritual immortality. But let me start with, for last few days, I've been watching videos on Kailash Parvat and why it is mysterious, why so many things are not known about this, and there are many things which are connected with. One by one, I would like to elaborate and show what is the real beauty of Kailash and other things. Let's start. Unexplored, unresolved, unexplained mysteries of the Mount Kailash. There are many people have spoken many things, but there are certain things which stand out. To let's start with, this is a documented thing from internet and material otherwise. Five unsolved mysteries of Mount Kailash. First, this mountain is still unclimbed. No one has been able to reach its top. And it's a fact that it is not the tallest mountain. Everest is much higher than that. But still nobody is able to reach there, where people are able to reach Mount Everest. Second thing, the people who travel up to this place on higher, they start aging as they reach particular level, and then they come back, their nails are grown, hairs are grown, and within a year they die. Then second thing, it is an artificial mountain. Why it is called artificial mountain, nobody has explained as such. And second thing, they say it is a center of earth which is there. Why it is center of earth, nobody has explained. And it is hollow from inside, and many more things are there which have not been even seen and observed, which are very obvious over there. So almost everything which I have been able to see, let me talk of that in the light of my own spiritual science, as my own experiences over in this life, and then talk from my experience what is the real beauty of Mount Kailash and how I understand Mount Kailash and what exactly it means. Let me make one thing very, very clear. I'm a spiritual scientist, I'm a divine mathematician, I'm a medical doctor, I'm a researcher, and I want to see everything with medical evidence, scientific evidence, in the light of conclusive mathematics, not anything other than that. I am not a philosopher, I am not a religious person, I am not any of those things. For me, universal consciousness, divine mathematics, divine physics, divine chemistry, divine anatomy, physiology, biochemistry is important, which can make me perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise human being for the service of my own self, for the service of the entire universe, and find what why exactly the world is fighting and other things. So my objective is world deserves perfect, divine, impeccable wisdom, and we need that, and we are the only one who are capable of it. And I do know, according to Vedas and Upanishads and Indian scriptures, and of course many other scriptures, the man is made in the image of God. We have all the qualities of divinity within us, and we. And I am very sure I don't see gods as they seen as a different thing. But I see all the gods and goddesses of Vedas and Upanishads and other scriptures well within my body itself. I can experience the divinity within me. I can see the divineness within me. As a result, I can be the divine consciousness of the world and talk about from my personal experience, and that is what spiritual science is all about. Let's not have a philosophy which we cannot explain. Today, the world is questions are raised, but no conclusive answer is there. And this particular video I felt I must make based on my experience, which are unique in every way, singularly, in many things which are given to the world for the first time in the history of mankind. I would like to take together and show that we all human beings should become perfect human beings first, and then you can understand divinity. We cannot understand divinity without being a perfect, truthful, honest, non-violent, perfect being who think of good of everybody. First quality, let us all become perfect human beings, sir. But unfortunately, the real beauty of humanity itself is not known to us. That's the reason we remain at a much lower level, more into the animal kingdom, reptilian brain, mammalian brain, and thinking brain. But we haven't been able to see the entire thing as totality and see everything is one within us. If we can experience that, we can talk about it to the universal consciousness. I know this video is going to be very long, but I think worth it because it raises the questions which should be answered conclusively, mathematically, and scientifically. Now, let's come to the first question, which should always come up: the location of Mount Kailash. Now, north it is 31.211, that is north longitude, and as far as east is concerned, it is 81.31. But when these two concepts, north and east, a number is given, what does it mean? Let me make one thing very, very clear. These are the notional numbers, not scientific numbers at all. I have marked that particular number of that on the picture, which is Kailash mountain, pinned there. This is the location as per the methodology which use. Whether this is the center of the world or not the center of the world cannot be said because these all numbers started with Britain who ruled that. Meridian thing. Keeping that in mind, we have the time and space as defined by that. Does the time define that way? My first question: does not. Does sun rises early in the morning in India? It does not arise. Does it set in the west the way it is talked? No, it does not. Because sun is moving all the time as it is. Earth is moving around the sun as it is. Moon is moving around Earth by itself. These are natural events. This concept of time and space is a man made concept, not divinity as such. There's nothing defined. Things go on. This is going on for millions and millions of years, will continue to for millions and millions. So let me bring one clarity first. All this time, space, energy matters. The fourth dimension, which Einstein talked about it, is not truly right. This is illusion, Maya, which our mind has created. So that's one thing which I'm making it very clear. Second thing, I do know we human beings can do only two dimensions with our eyes: length and breadth. Even to see the third dimension of depth and length and breadth, to circle to cubical form, to the spherical form, our eyes cannot see. We cannot see more than two. The third is this is something outside. Now come to the fourth dimension of time and space, which Einstein talked about it and got relativity, is also limited because that is also something, as I told you, does not exist. It's an illusion. It is a Maya. That is what ancient Indians used to talk about it. But we have to define to see things as it is. So that is the reason this question. But you might be a little surprised. I can see 10 dimension within my eyes as such. I can see my RBCs dancing in my eyes. I can see the floating objects. I can see all those microorganisms as a magnified within my eyes. Why is a big question. World cannot see more than two. And I see 10 dimensions within my eye. See two objects separated by each other by space, moving in different directions, taking all the dimensions. I'm able to see all that in one sitting itself. For me, the entire universe is within my eye. If I can see it, I don't understand why others are not able to see. For me, this will be easy as early as my young days. And that is what also talks about Krishna can see the entire universe within his mouth itself. He showed it to his mother. If that was the truth, if I can see it, I think we can all see it. Because I am just like any other common man. I don't call myself any superhuman being. I can only say I'm just trying to be a perfect human being, a normal human being. And people who cannot do this, I only feel they haven't really used their mind to understand totality itself. I'm not pointing fingers because they are not made to think rationally at all. The deficiency with this is we are seeing things, but we are not trying to understand what does it mean. And unless until we have the capacity to analyze things as it is, you'll never be able to see. The questioning thing, different things, how another thing, is the very quality of human mind itself. Eliminating all the defects and going to the perfection is every human being is able to do. All the scientists, philosophers of the world are trying to do, but unfortunately, they are saying that they are looking for truth, but their base is again on defective man-made mathematics, man-made physics, man-made chemistry, man-made medical subject, everything man-made. They haven't really gone to the truth to see. Since they are working on a defective model, they remain like that. And they are not thinking that it could be higher. They unfortunately because they don't see from the divine mind. They only see. What I mean to say is every human being has that your indwelling human soul, which called Antaratma or Kundalini or Aditi, which is able to give you complete wisdom if you look from Atmic point of view. Your senses, your mind, your intelligence, your intuition, they are the different aspects of your Antaratma, soul itself. If you are with soul, only then you can see. If human being is without a soul, that cannot see. And I am able to see because I am connected with soul from my young days. First 7 years of my life when the brain was developed, nobody taught me anything. I just observed the nature as it is. And today I have the knowledge because I saw that from Atmic point of view. And since I've seen with the Atmic point of it became a very good important prospect for me. Look at everything logically. So literally my dwelling soul became my guru. And that is reason I keep saying your guru, your person who can lead you from untruth to truth lies within you, your soul itself. Unless that we understand your soul's point of view, you're looking at it, you'll never see Divyank, never see divinity, never see perfection at all. First, learn to be connected with soul by being truthful, honest, and have your intention to be perfect in the service of humanity is all what every human being can do. I have not done something which others have not been able to do. I see that being done by different aspects of people who are called gods and goddesses around the world. But I see them all within me. They are not outside me. And because I see all of them within me, and that's the reason I've been able to say and do something, reach the level of Devyank and other thing is a reality. That's one part. Let's go on to the next one. Now, Axis Mystery Mountain. This is what is written about it. Now let's go into detail. That it is height is 66,638 meters, which is very less compared to Everest. It is the central point of India. Now I'll make it. It is not the center of the world. It is not axis of the world. It's not the world pillar. That is what I was trying to explain. It is center of India, Akhand Bharat. If you take the west longitude and latitude, you'll find east side, west is 70.57 and Mount Kailash is 81 and east Assam is not 92. So 81 is the center of 71 and 91. Let's put it that way, primarily. So it becomes the center of India, Akhand Bharat, which I'm talking about. And I'm very clear, this Akhand Bharat, which has given me the knowledge, I would call it Sindhu Rashtra. Let me take you to this picture. Now look at this particular picture. You can see the map of India. I have put Mount on the middle, you can see. And from there, the Sindhu River is going up to the north. The boundary of Sindhu is in Ladakh. Then it moves to the west and gets converted into Saptarishi Sindhu and goes into Arabian Sea is a center part going up north, west, and into Arabian Sea. On the right side, you have Brahmaputra river starting from again Kailash, Sindhu also from Kailash, Brahmaputra also. Brahmaputra moves towards the east and comes to the Bengal, Bay of Bengal. Right at the bottom, you can see Sindhu. This is a land which I called Akhand Bharat, Akhand Sindhu Rashtra. This is a land which is unique in itself, and I would say entire spirituality from beginning till today comes from this land, and this map is like a human being as such, where you can call Ladakh as Sahasrara Chakra or the crown, and Kanyakumari right at the bottom as the small lowest part to the highest part, west and east. Let's not divide it to low and high. Everything has to be integrated. Sahasrara is its role. Muladhara has its own role. Souls of the human being are also like low. So you cannot separate. This whole thing should be as one. There is nothing called lower consciousness and higher consciousness. And that is what I have spent to explain the world. In the name of there are 10 chakras within the human body, not 7 chakras which people have spoken about. And in this picture also I have talked about Ganga, which comes from Vishuddhi chakra, purified water, and comes to the eastern and gets into Bay of Bengal. Brahmaputra, Bengal, Sindhu River, Saptrishi, and this is a land, fertile land of the world, which was Vishwaguru, which is Vishwaguru, which will always be Vishwaguru because this is the only land has abundance of vegetarian food which is conducive for perfect health. Perfect health has to be pure vegetarian, no alcohol, no smoke, no drugs, nothing at all. This land has got abundance of all those things what required for perfect human beings. This is only land which has a banyan tree, which can produce oxygen 24 hours. And that is called Ficus religiosa, again named only India and nothing else. There are so many things I've spoken about it. A summarized form is what I'm going to talk about. So it is a center of Akhand Bharat, not of the world. Second thing, and this is a picture, same thing I'm showing again, and call it Akhand Bharat, and also call it Sindhu Rashtra. I do not want this to be called the center of Hinduism because I'm against any religion in any form which divides. Unfortunately, our science is also divisive because it's based on man-made defective mathematics. Our religions are defective because my religion is better than your religion. Why this religion is coming into the picture? We have to become perfect human being who was good for everything. And that is what Sindhurashtra I'm talking. This is center of spirituality, and that is a center which I see in Sanatan Dharma. I do not see in Hinduism. I do not see in any religion. Ism of any nature which is bonding should not be given consideration at all. I, I'm a Brahmin birth because I prefer being called a Brahmin because Brahmin is the one who's in tune with formless, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, universal consciousness, which is otherwise called Brahman. Let me stick to the term Brahman. I'm a Brahmin, so I understand that. So I can call myself Brahmin because I understand that. And that's the one who created the entire universe. So if I call myself Brahmin from Hindu, Sindhu Rashtra or Akhand Bharat, I think I'm well within my right because I'm not talking or dividing anything. I'm only giving the world this particular Punya Bhumi has given it to me. That's one part. Now come to the next one. Why is unclimbed lane mountain is something which question has come? Because I do agree this is a land which belongs to Adi Prashakti and Adi Prashakti and Shakta both. Shakta is a male concept, Shakti is a female concept. This is a land which I can call Nirankar Nirgun Brahman land. The whole divinity centers over there as such. That means all the inert matter is found there, which is responsible for giving it first. Adi means first, Para is absolute, Shakta is the core, and Shakti is returning. Both core and this are seen there only. That is something which made me realize the so-called English term of God. G I call generation, the first stage of generation. O is 10 stages of development or Vishnu avatar, Brahma avatar, and dissolution is third stage of maturation of Lord Shiva. So in other words, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are the three are God, and they are associated with three consorts of female Shaktis. So you can understand Adi Prashakta and Adi Prashakti is the center there because all the divinity totality lies in that particular center only. Only a person who has reached that level can go there. That is what point is. So it's very clear. Nirankar Nirgun Brahman is a place which a Brahmin can see who is in tune with Brahman. He can choose Sakar Sargun Brahman if you are in tune with universal consciousness Brahman. And my perception experience is we can go with astral travel. People cannot walk up to that because they are not perfect. But the person who is perfect at every level, as a perfect human being, can go to Kailash with the astral travel, see the entire universe itself. Not only Kailash, I can the entire universe. It's possible because I have those divine Shaktis within me. I have Aditi as helium 4, Gayatri as neon 21, and Adi Prashakti as organ 40, and also know the krypton and xenon. And as a result, entire university is there because all the divine forces, which are inert matters, I have within me. I experience that within me in physicalized form. So, in other words, any enlightened soul who is in tune with universal consciousness can go to Kailash, not anybody other than that. Anybody who other than that is going there is different reason. I'm sure people are not knowing. They think they can see Lord Shiva there. You cannot see Lord Shiva there at all. It's just not possible. That's it. Now come to the question is, I'm bringing this particular design is designed by me, but I'm bringing into the world the three outer the neocortex of the human brain are the unique which make human brain in tune with universal consciousness. This is the only aspect is not found in any other brain other than the perfect human beings alone. I'm making it. If you're perfectly designed human being, you'll have the three layers intact. But these three layers are like antenna to the universal consciousness. This is where astral travel starts. Then below that you have primate brain, which is thinking brain, is the second part. Our one is a spiritual path. Perfect, perfect human being is only that. Then mammalian brain is emotional, other thing. This is the concept which is. Once you realize the three outer layers are neocortex, you are in tune with universal. But let me tell you very clearly. Outer three layers are neocortex, their function is not known to the international neuroscientists of the world at all. According to them, they do not know. Let's accept that. Now I have been saying these three outer layers have got alpha rhythm. 7.83 to 8.73 is the frequency of the outer three layers of neocortex called Akash Kosh or the Schumann resonance field or ionosphere layer of this. Now I am bringing a new concept called ionosphere. That means they are in ionic form. Anything which is ionic form has to be understood with certain things which are important. Not every ion is important. Like sodium is important, chloride is important, potassium is important. Let's leave it at that. Now, as a result, once these three layers, you facilitate yourself to be in universal consciousness, you can experience everything, including Kailash Parvat. That's it. And to get a scientific proof, we can prove how brain is effective by taking encephalogram. My PhD work centered around producing alpha frequency within the brain with open eyes. To start with, in 1993, I was initiated into simplified Kundalini Yoga in 91. Within 2 years, the first EEG when I took, I had 10.5 Hz alpha frequency from posterior part of the brain with eyes closed and mind at rest. That is how it started in 93. And this picture was taken almost 20 years later. And here I am able to produce 8 Hz peak alpha frequency throughout the brain with eyes open. This is something which no one in the world has done. And how come I am able to do? Because I'm just but trying to be perfect human being itself. I'm not doing anything other than that. And when you are perfect, you have nothing defective, no unnatural things. Your brain would exhibit that, and this is the frequency of ionosphere of the universe, Schumann resonance field, Akash Kosh, and that's it. That is reason for me to do astral travel is ever, because this is a state when all the souls and they become my vehicles to go up. Suppose I want to experience my inner self completely. For me, Aditi, helium-4 is more than enough because I have incorporated that into my ventricles brain. As a result, I am able to see 10.344 dimensions of every object within the brain itself. I see the chakras. So that's one part. Suppose I want to see or the solar system and spiral galaxy. For me, neon is the next element which is important. But if I want to go to greater universe, it argon becomes. So these three things, argon 40 is Adi Prashakti, Neon 21 is Gayatri, and Helium 4 is Aditi. The three goddesses are my vehicles to go to different levels. With this, I have gone and done Siddhi powers to see what it is like within my own body, not going to unconscious states. And that is what Turiya is all about. When I talk about waking consciousness, sleeping conscious state, deep sleep, to the Turiya, only in Turiya state, and that is what Vedas are talking about. That is what Upanishads are talking about. That is the true consciousness of a human being. And that is reason ancient Indian scriptures of Vedas, Upanishads, and others have shown me a thing. Unfortunately, those things are not understood by anybody else because nobody is in tune with universal consciousness. How can you decode cryptic language of Upanishads without being in tune with universal consciousness mind? And I have decoded every mystery and shown to the world in my videos, my books, my research by and large. So this is one part which is very clear. Now let's go to the second part. Even compass cannot function in that area. This inner empty mountain is a compass. Compass is not with a magnetic iron core, and I'm making it very clear. This part of the center, which is centers around Akash Kailash mountain, is empty, not with a core of iron core. This is volcanic earthquake which has been taken out, and the process you have more of inert gases around than you have iron core. As a result, even compass cannot pick because it's not strong enough to have North Pole or South Pole magnetic field at all. That's one thing which is clear. And it is primarily because of volcanoes and other divine activities which are there, you cannot have. That's the answer. Now I'm giving the presentation. This is the earth element, and I've been saying earth is also made of 7 parts. The center core is what you can see bottom, and that is where normally volcanoes start. But that is magnetic core at the same time. You can see in this mantle, the thing which appears is because of iron which produces magnetism. And when magnetism in this particular thing is minimized, your compass is not going to see. That is exactly what I wanted to show about it. Next come to the question, it's the hollow mountain. Now, how is hollow? People have made a concept, but nobody explained why it is hollow. Now, let me make it. Mount Kailash is surrounded by cadavers, and this is documented evidence from internet and other sources. Mount Kailash is surrounded by cauldrons, basins associated with volcanic eruptions, had out frozen springs and heads of glaciers not created by snowfall. So that is created. So that place is because of eruptions, volcanic, not because snowfall. That's one part. Dark, dirty glaciers occur when spring water is freezing below the surface, carrying some of the mountain out with it. This is not my statement, it's a scientific statement. They chemically resemble like Mount Kailash is a volcano emitting helium. Now I'm coming to the one point. When I said Aditi, my inner soul, is made of coal, Mount Kailash is producing volcano emitting helium. We can also expect methane from there. That's the reason in my videos I talk about it. First molecule is methane, water, and carbon dioxide. And methane is one I'm talking about as the prime component. This has got a power of 10, CH4, 10 protons, and that is it. Water also 10 protons, and that is what Divyang is all about. Now you understand why it is hollow, because of volcanic eruptions which have made things to go. There is emptiness there like a dark matter, and that dark matter is helium. That is what is produced there. Let's go to the particular. Just a couple of miles away, there are liquid pools of water. Again, I'm making it with pool, water. That is Amrit, which I'm talking about. Water is that is being ejected above ambient temperature and kept from freezing by volcanic heat, while the snow that falls remains frozen. This is statement of other scientists, not mine. I am only trying, this is reality. As a result, what you are seeing is a dark and light matter over there. You can see this is Kailash mountain. Now you can see the emptiness there. You can see all that dark matter. This is the beauty of Kailash mountain. That's another picture from the same thing. You can see it had the glaciers, which are not made of snowfall, but made of erupted matter as such, which contain helium by and large. So one thing which is standing out, first inert matter called helium is important part there. And I remember many years ago, somebody had asked a question, where do you see helium shower? That question is already in Kora when I said it is in Kailash mountain. And how many people have seen, I do not know. But I had years ago itself said helium shower is there in Kailash. And that is why people go there to see, because they represent divine consciousness, enlightened souls of the past. They come to that place to feel oneness with universal consciousness. Anyone who can go there for universal consciousness, you'll get universal consciousness Divyank over there. They will not give a person who is not pure enough to like a real divine being and going there. And that is the real reality which I'm talking about. Now come to the question of land. This is space. You can see the landscape. Beautiful. Done with it. Now I'm going to show you one more thing. Before I go proceed further, is something which has always enamored me since my childhood. Mundaka Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva with the mala rosary of skulls. Many people ask me, what does it mean? And I make it very clear. In this particular picture, you can see he's carrying the body of Parvati, who's become Sati. And Sati is a one is able to become because she has certain emotional bondage of differences with the world as such. She is fond of Lord Shiva naturally, but she goes against her own father and other beings. In the process, she commits suicide. And because of suicide, all the skulls which he has collected, he puts around it. How many years you have taken to reach that level of Kailash? No. You to go to Kailash, you have to leave that identity by and large. So that is one thing. Even Goddess Parvati cannot enter Mount Kailash, so she becomes Sati and leave it at that. Where Shiva, as such, for that matter, every human being, including me, you, and everybody, can go there with astral travel. There is no need to take the physicalized body there because Atma, helium can take you, neon can take you, argon can take you, krypton can take you, xenon can take you. All these vehicles are the divine medical which are stable. You should use them for astral travel. That is my point is. But to explain the perfect human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, psychology, Lord Shiva had to take Parvati to Amarnath cave as this picture. Listening to the conversation with Shiva, gave it to Parvati in Amarnath, even two pigeons have become immortal. And I'm making it very clear. These forms of Shiva, Parvati, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they are all within us. Don't separate them as separate gods against each other. They are divinity as such. When I say Brahma is the first stage of creation, when I say Vishnu, then 10th stage of development. When I say Shiva is the third stage of maturation, you can see at every cell level, everywhere in the world is the same story. So they are integrated once, not separate from each other. I do not want any Shaivism. I don't want any Vaishnavism. I do not want Shaktism to be given importance, Hinduism, Brahmanism, any of these things. We should be complete by themselves. That is the message which I'm carrying in this particular video very famously. You become a perfect human being, see all that within you. That is what Rigved is talking about. Rigved is not talking about these elements other than what you see within your 33 crore devtas are within me. I have experienced all of them, and we are going to talk few of them in this particular video as we proceed. Now this is the landscape of Kailash sacred landscape. But there is something which you observed. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it at a later stage as we proceed. Then recorded statement is helium production is accompanied by separating helium from natural gas and crude. This is other scientist statement. Volcano is an element found in crude oil deposit like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and water. This is what I said. I've been saying. Three elements which are important. An atom element is hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. First molecule is methane, second is water, third is the carbon dioxide. These second molecules are three in nature. That is what now you're seeing it. And volcanic emission is 90% water, including springs, hot springs. This is what is seen there. 90% water. But I do know 61.8034% is the water on earth, human body, and the cells as such is renewable. So I'm bringing Divyank and then talking about. But that is what is source of volcanic helium. Now, these are the two pictures from the internet again. You can see the right on the top picture, you can see the light around which is lightning. And it is because of helium-4. They are the enlightened human souls which are there, which prefer to go there for enlightening themselves or being around there because most of the center of those people are there. That is reflexive that when you are talking of moksha, you don't want to be born again. Take your antaratma there as such and be present in that place. You are in blissful state and nobody can disturb you. And I have made a statement. I can go there with astral travel at any time and every time. Not at all a problem. I've done it over and over. For Janmas and Janmas I've done it. Because I am in tune with helium-4, which is my indwelling soul. Now, lower picture, I've shown the volcanoes on the right side and all those elements, helium flying around. Both the pictures of helium is flying around, and that is what I wrote in that answer. They are enlightened souls in that form because that is Antaratma, and that's it. That is a science we should have called spiritual science. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I do not want to end my cycle of birth and rebirth. So my soul is actually from sun. Aditya to Aditi, this is concept. Now, I'm taking you to the next stage, how protons and protons of nuclear reaction in the sun transform Aditya, the hydrogen, 4 into Aditi, the helium-4, and helium to this. As a result, I've been able to explain what Rigved takes. Aditi is the mother and son of Daksha, the king of universe in Ved. In Upanishad, it is Aditya, and Aditi is the daughter as well that, and that is explained in this particular concept very clearly. Aditya is hydrogen, Aditi is helium-4. This is the first core cycle. The most important element in the world is hydrogen. The second most important is helium. The third most important is oxygen, Agni element, Agni Devta, which is important. Then comes the carbon, then comes the other things. So that is again science and spirituality coming in the same platform. And once we understand that, you'll have no difficulty in understanding the concept of spiritual science, from Ved Upanishad to the modern science of Divyank alone. Let me make it very simple. With the man-made concept of mathematics, physics, chemistry, you cannot understand. But Divyank you can understand. Now, spiritual science of Ved and Upanishad with Divyank is much more clearer than anything else. That is what I am trying to prove it. Now the comes Aditi is a picture. You can see the goddess. You can see this. This is what Akhand Sutra talks about it. Now, the early aging mechanism, I'm coming back to again. Now, here starts a statement from internet. Siberian climbers tried and returned immediately with the fast growing nails and, of course, hair and aging bodies. And it is also written they died within a year. Why? I am very clear. Perception is Neelkant is there. It may be because the iodine level over there is big enough. And iodine is 53rd element. If you take iodine as an element, it's 53. But if you take iodine as an ion, it becomes 54. When it becomes 54 electrons, it becomes like xenon. It becomes a divine consciousness. And this is there. That's why Neelkant of Lord Shiva is very important. But have we really understood that? I wonder. No. You call it a mystery, but no, it's a pure science of the highest order. And iodine is one which becomes xenon, which is, I call it what Nirankar Nirgun Brahman. And maybe because of iodine being high and increased thyroid content, and that is reason hyperthyroidism produces more heat. And these are people, when they produce more heat, your body is going to go through the changes of hyperthyroidism, and those people go through the stage of hyperthyroidism itself. That's all my point is. Now come to the question of aging process. I told you in this particular picture, I am showing the picture of what is churning of divine primary ocean or Sagar Manthan or Samundar Manthan. This is a picture of anything which show Meru mountain. I say that is what mountain is. But if you see in that picture in the bottom, you can see Kurma Avatar, the tortoise. Tortoise is one which held this particular thing, which I can totally understand. But it's also Lakshmi is on top of that. But what you are seeing in this particular picture, on the right side, you are seeing the gods and gods as such. But left side, you are seeing demons. That means in this picture says that you have demons on one side and gods on the other side, who with the help of Vasuki started churning that particular spot, and all the things came from the ocean from that point, and they're supported by Kurma. This picture shows what are the beautiful things which came out, you can see on top. And that is what I meant. When ionic iodine is 53, it resembles xenon 54, the divine consciousness, or Nirankar Nirgun Brahman is all about. You are reaching that level. Now, I'm going to show you two natural lakes in this particular place. This is in Kailash, surrounding in Kailash on one side. You see on left side, disorganized lake called Rakshas Lake. But if you look at the height, is 454,543 meters. But when you see the right side Mansarovar Lake, it is 4538 meters. Mean Mansarovar is the higher level and Rakshas is the lower level. And that is what I have written on top. But lower Rakshas Lake has a saline water, where the high Mansa is pure divine water, which is Amrit. Again, purified water and salted water. When you talk of salt water, it could be sodium chloride, it could be potassium, it could be xenon, and all the things, elements otherwise, or maybe halogens are important and minerals are important. This is something which I wonder anybody has ever even looked at this particular picture. You have two lakes even today, and it is said very clearly nobody should drink the water of Rakshas Lake. You can have the water of Mansarovar. That means you are going there for Amrit, not. And I'm also made to understand, I do not want to name anybody else. The people who had done tapasya in Rakshas Tal with that concept have become Rakshasas or Asuras or demons by and large. Because that is something makes you not a perfect human being. You become an idiot by and large. And that is what it is all about. Now, we should understand this concept very clearly, show the world the real beauty of Kailash mountain. Now, this is same picture. You can see the down settled view of Lake Manu, which is right, and Rakstal with Mount Kailash in the background. You can see Mount Kailash. You can see these two lakes. This is a picture of satellite picture. That is. Now I'm bringing this picture again. In this picture, you can see Rakshasas on the left side and gods on the right side. And in the middle, you can see Meru mountain or Mount Kailash with Vishnu here or you Lakshmi on that side. And the bottom will be second incarnation of Vishnu as Kurma avatar, the tortoise. And other thing which came out, we will talk about it later. I have already spoken about it, but this one we concentrate only on one concept called Neelkant as such, which I told you, which is responsible for people to go for hyperthyroidism and die for premature activity. Now, I'm bringing this particular picture again into the mind to show how your inner consciousness makes you do certain things. This picture shows that old Akash Ganga is coming down, and Akash Ganga had asked Lord Shiva to take that into mountain, put in the head, and then she came down out of it. You see Shivling on one side, left as right. The left one is Sindhu, right I would call it Ganga and Brahmaputra. And that's it. And I think I've shown that picture very clearly. The real beauty of this was done by me in a picture then, which I call Shiv and Shakti. I had drawn in 1992 after my initiation in Simplified Kundalini. What is unique in this part? The face is female and water is coming on the left side, not on the right side, and shows that Shakta is 38.1966% and Shakta is 61 is seen in this picture before I came to realize Divyank itself. And that was done 92, which is 32 years earlier. And I was not into spiritual science, but I was initiated to simplified content. But I have been like this from my childhood itself. Now comes the question of now showing something which is very, very important as far as I'm concerned in this particular place called Kailash. Lord Shiva, Neelkant, the cryptic signs of blue throat is what I'm going to talk about it to prove why Rakshas Lake and Sthal and churning of ocean is important. Now, if we understand this concept, we will understand the beauty of Kailash very, very clearly. Now, as this picture I'm repeating again, when both gods and goddesses got together and demons got together to get Amrit for themselves to become immortal, they have done this, they were churning it, and I'm very sure that Mount Kailash is Meru mountain as such, and that can be associated with human bodies, Sushma Nadi, Sushmana Nadi, where the Ida and Pingla could be called these gods and this you are churning the whole thing into that. I'm not going to get that detail at this particular juncture, but Meru is Sushmana Nadi, and one is Pingala, another is Ira. One is divine, one is this. Let's leave it at let's not God bring into demons and this. Because I do not find anything wrong in demons or gods. They are same. Only thing is one with a external material world power, another is divine power. That's all the difference. That is there in all of us. I see the gods within me. I also see demon within me. It's me to choose the one which is perfect and be perfect, and that is the message which I'm giving at that particular juncture. Now I'm coming to the halogens, five halogens which are very, very important. First period, there are 7 periods in the whole process. So that means there should be either 7 halogens. If not 7, what it is? The first period has got hydrogen and helium alone. There is no halogen in the first period at all. There are 7 periods. That's one. But the second one has got lithium on one side and boron, and you have fluoride on the other side. So second period goes with fluoride as a halogen, and material size you have lithium or boron. So this combination is too dangerous, too dynamic. So as a result was never used in the human body in form because fluorosis can make your bone dissolve. And that may be also one of the reasons there. Fluorides make the bones also dissolve and they die early there itself. Third period, you have left side, sodium with 11 electrons. Let me make it very clear. There are 11 electrons, but when you have chloride other side, you have 17. That's 11 electrons lose one electron to become positive, and one goes to the chloride to form sodium chloride, so it becomes 18. I'm going to show that picture. When you are go to 10, you are going to come to neon. When you go to 18, you go to neo argon. That's the beauty. Bromide doesn't take much of place except its role in psychological differences. The fifth period is iodine, and that is the last of the halogen which are used in the body for physiological functions of forming of thyroid hormone in the throat. And that is what Neelkanth is all about. Now you understand, I've reached the fifth level of iodine. Now when iodine is 53, when ionic form of iodine becomes 54, which is close to xenon as such. So when you experience the divinity within you, you feel the heat of it. You experience the beauty of xenon within the body itself. When you feel the body itself, that experience the entire universe is yours. That is exactly my point is. Becoming conscious of atoms, elements, molecules, compounds, cells, everything within the body is what makes you to be in tune with universal consciousness. It is not a knowledge outside your body. It's a knowledge within your body. When you experience that, no wonder I can produce 8 hertz alpha frequency throughout the brain with eyes open, which no one in the world has because they haven't experienced Ved within their own self, Upanishad with their own self. We are looking for external world. Nobody is looking for anta. No wonder Akhand Yoga has got 10 stages. The last is Antar Yoga. That means your consciousness has come within the brain, within the pineal gland, third eye of Shiva. No wonder I can see because I have internalized it. And I've shown with the document proof this is what it's all about. Once you understand that you are in tune with universal consciousness, you reach a much higher level of consciousness. Now the question, as I told you, from atomic form to ionic form, you can see that example right at the bottom. You say sodium atom has got 11. Now one outer is goes to the chloride. When one goes to chloride, it becomes ion with 10 electrons. When chloride with 17 becomes a negative with 18, and that is what I meant was sodium has become neon 10 and potassium has become argon 18 and chloride also argon 18. That is how chemistry works within your body. Once they become stable like ionic matter, inert matter, only then you can experience the beauty. And I'm talking it's science only, I'm not talking of something on my own. So, how atoms and elements have become ionic form in sodium chloride as sodium plus in chloride this, and that is the reason they play a very important role in sodium potassium ATP pump, which I've already explained. Now comes to the Sagar Manthan. As I told you, fluoride is the one. As such, you can see first doesn't have, second have. One is missing. When you get that, it becomes like 10. But it is not used because it's very, very powerful, electronic, very powerful. It can lead to calcium deficiency and breaking a bone, which can kill you very, very, and that is what fluorosis is all about. Second thing which is important is chloride with 17. When you get one more, it becomes like 18, becomes like argon, is stable. With sodium and chloride is the best combination for extracellular elements along with water to carry things like glucose from outside to inside plays very important role. That's it. Now bromide I told you is 35, stable, used for psychological, not physiologically right. Sodium and chloride plays physiological role. Potassium and chloride plays a physiological role. Bromide does not play. Now come to the iodine. It has got 53. It should become 54 and become stable in formation of thyroid hormone itself. Let's go to the next stage of estrogen. It doesn't have much of a role. Let me not talk much about this. Now I'm going to talk to a very important part of ancient Indian wisdom called hala hala, the poison. And it is said when churning was going on, and from the ocean, as the churning was going on in Mount Kailash, and I'm now becoming very clear, it's in Mount Kailash, with both low Rakshas demons on one side and high pure devas on the other side, churning together mountain. And one of the things which came out was poison, which was blue-white poison, which started coming during churning of primary. This is scriptures are talking about, not me. It is just copy. And the poison started killing the living beings around in that area. Said, kill all the beings which are there. No wonder, because of this blue light poison of iodine or whatever it is at that particular stage, can kill anybody. No wonder nobody can reach Kailash, because there is lot of hala hala over there, because Shiva's hala hala is there. Then everybody got scared and they approached Lord Shiva, you save us. And Lord Shiva collected the poison, started drinking. Now, mind you, he started drinking. And Parvati at that put a snake around the neck of Lord Shiva. This is scriptures talk about it. Now, is this a description a myth, fiction, or pure science? That's a question which is raised. But to the best of my knowledge, everybody calls this mythology, a philosophy they are not being able to understand. And I can totally understand, because they are not in tune, they are not even perfect human beings in tune with their own antaratma. Forget about the universe. How will they understand? If you are not with the universal consciousness, which is omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, then you will not understand impeccable wisdom at all. That is what my point is. And since I'm able to understand it. What do I understand? Let me tell you. Explain now in the light of modern science. Science of halal is ideal, is a poison which is blue. But I remember when I was in school, we used to take iodine crystals, which are violet in color, fume them on a flame. As you can see the right side, you become blue violet fumes, as you can see in the picture very clearly. Bicolor, they are violet, but the brown color becomes violet one heating, and that is what that particular description is all about. These are the fumes which are coming up, and these are the fumes which kill people in Mount Kailash. Let's it very clear. Now comes the question is to prove it. Is iodine, which is coming, is it antimicrobial? Does it kill? Science is very clear. Whether it's tincture iodine or povidone with iodine combination is used for before surgery to kill all the microorganisms. You can kill all the microorganisms with iodine itself. Is a proof. So brown to ultraviolet to killing and iodine is enough proof to show that this is science. It is not something which is not science. Let's go to the next stage. The science of snake of Lord Shiva. Why did she put snake around the neck? Not anywhere else. It's very clear. He is drinking hala hala poison, and she put a snake around the neck. Is very clear. So what I've shown on the right side is the thyroid gland in the throat. So that means iodine is being stored into that. Or tapping of iodine to thyroid gland is what it means. It's a science. But is this science true or not true? Is some question which everybody should have raised it. But have they done? Sorry, no. Because everybody is looking at the knowledge the way it's taught by bloody idiots. And I make it very clear. All the knowledge since my childhood till today I've seen in different forms, different books throughout the world. Quote in quote is defective, defective, defective. And I'm trying to rectify that with the impeccable wisdom of Divyang and say, this is the succession which is there in this particular picture. This is the true science, not the one which world is talking about. And I'm not talking about any scientist of the world. I'm talking about the entire subject itself is defective. Our education itself is defective. Then how can you expect yourself to be perfectly in tune with universal consciousness when the knowledge itself is deficient at every level? That's first enlightening. Now come to the next stage. In this particular picture, I'm talking about the trapping of iodine atoms in the molecules. As I told you, as you can see right inside, iodine portal is coming. Iodine is going inside. How iodine is converted into ionic form? That means 53 is converted into 54. That's it. When it goes inside, then in the ribosome, along with the water, it gets iodinated and goes to form thyroglobulin. And from thyroglobulin to mono, di, and tri is comes and put inside into the cell and released to the blood as thyroid hormone. So you can see iodine going it as a DIT, a MIT, a DIT in the follicular cells, and also the lumen, how they are formed, how they are excreted. This shows that iodine has to be trapped by thyroid gland to convert into thyroglobulin and thyroid hormone. And why is converted into thyroid hormone there? What has got to do with Lord Shiva? What has got to do with Kailash mountain is something I should now go next to stage to explain that. Now, science says the prime function of thyroid gland is calorigenic, and also it has a role in producing concepts which are more of uh, increasing basal metabolic rate. BMR is increased. It's a glorification. But I do know that is not true. As in this particular picture, I've shown that thyroid is actually calorigenic or thermogenic in action. As you see the picture, thyroid is gone. You see the mitochondria. What is coming out is a fire. It's not ATP. That is what I'm trying to talk. Thyroid hormone is to convert heat, not ATP in the mitochondria. And it is used triglyceride to be converted into heat and also broken down protein products into heat. That is the reality which science is going to produce as we proceed. When first realized, I know these are the two things which my soul told me. But I know the science is going to show that thyroid hormone prime function is to break down triglyceride into heat or broken protein products into heat, not into ATP. That's one thing which makes it clear that even science research need to come out and understand and then do things better. Now this is something which they could have easily done if as a scientists, as a doctors, because I know hypothyroidism, when thyroid combination is less, there is intolerance to the cold. But when this hypothyroidism, there is intolerance to the heat. And because of hypothyroidism, people become normal weight or reduced weight because triglyceride cannot be taken, cholesterol cannot be, and so thing the breakdown is there. And that's it. This particular concept of hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism, it centers around heat, is what I'm trying to talk about. It's not talking of BMR. Basal metabolic is not a race. Calorigenic is not the race. Diabetogenic is not the race. It is again thermogenic in action. I'm clear, it's a thermogenic in action. When it's less, you are intolerant to cold. When it's heat, you are intolerant to heat. And that is what two conditions are all about. And I now put together the picture to show how you get iodine, trapping in iodine, and this as a result, this is what is Lord Krishna is. And Lord Shiva needs more energy in that form to be in Kailash. So that means thyroid content is high, iodine content may be high, ionic form may be high, and that could be the reason why people die as and such. Now I'm going to bring another concept which is related in the beginning, as I said, God. When I say G, generation, the first stage of creation. When I say O, operator, 10 stages of development are Vishnu, Dasavatar. And third, dissolution is the third stage of maturation or Lord Shiva. So now we come to the first part to talk about Brahma, the first stage of creation as such. And that I'm showing that our scriptures talk about that solar system is made of 21 parts. To go beyond the solar system, you need 22nd part. That's one part of 22 by 20, which is Brahman. And same thing, when I talk of earth element made of 7 parts, Antriksh, atmosphere 7 parts, and 7 heaven, they put 21 parts. And that is what is explained in 21 to 22. Same thing I see in a cell. Under compound microscope is only 3 things, but under electron microscope you can see 21 parts in the cell, and it is centrosome becomes centriole 2 to become 22 is 1 part. Same thing Mandukya Upanishad also talks about Akara 7 parts, Yukara 7 parts, Makara 7 parts, Turiya 7 parts, and the hidden wisdom of 20. To go to Kailash itself, you need to go to 22nd level to reach there and astral travel. That's all my point is. Anyone who can go beyond the body to Turiya consciousness can easily can go to Kailash or Akash Kosh, the entire universe as such. And that is the beauty. Now, as I told you, living cell also to 22 parts. And head, which is center of Sahasrara chakra, is also made of 22 bones. But out of 22 bones, 21 are fixed, one is open, which is mandible. Again, very clear. And I also know 22 weeks of the child is fully developed. That's what helium gets in. And up to 21 years of age, brain is still developing. That's the reason sutures remain free till 22 years. After that only they fuse is something which forensic medicine also talks about. Now you see the modern science, different aspects and the role of that. Now this particular picture I'm showing because I talked about Mundaka Upanishad. That Mundaka skulls, dead skulls of Parvati around Shiva is what this is all about. Now come to the 10th stage of development I've said. The first is Matsya, which is the first one to start. The second is Kurma, which I'm talking in this particular thing. Matsya is the one where all the Saptarishis, after decline, they took that particular ship and tied it with Kailash mountain only. When they say it has got a divine kingdom unexplored, otherwise, this is a divine kingdom which Saptarishis made it after Matsya's avatar. And that's the reason there are so many things beautiful which man cannot comprehend because they were done by Saptarishis. At that particular stage, the consciousness of that nature, and that is with fish. And this second part is of Kurma avatar when you see this churning of ocean. But then how Varaha brings the earth out. Then how other things go in the process of evolution as we have moved on. That's the beauty of Dasavatar with respect to Mount Kailash by and large. You have seen fish, the one with Manu along with Saptarishis took it to there, and Kurma when churning started, and third, when earth had to be brought again to bring life into the picture, is the third stage. Let's put it that. Now come to the question. Shivank is something which unfortunately was not declared till date. 22 by 21 is recorded in Upanishads and Vedas, and 10 stages of development Vishnu is known. I knew that very well as a child itself. But come to the Shiva's 5 digits, Panchbhutas I know. What is that number? I did not know. To do it that way, I had to go through lot of process of interdevelopment and made our Divyang triangle, Divyang rectangle, Divyang number which I found to be 1.6180, and then worked with IBM's SPS version 21 with the help of my friend Professor Govindraju and found that 5 digits are 0.34419. 22 by 21 to the power of 10.34419 was finally recognized, conceived, and revealed in 2015, 14, and 15 after a lot of years of tapasya. And now we have the divine number to the world for the first time in the history of mankind from 2015 only. So I cannot find fault with any of the people who are talking about different things because they did not have the number. Now that I have the perfect number, now let me make it available, perfect knowledge for the entire universe to be perfectly perfect. That's it I am trying to do. Now, as you can see, this last picture, the divine design 22 by 21, the power of this. 20 is the first stage of creation, our generation, Brahman. 10, 10 stage of development, Vishnu Ank. 0.33, third stage of maturation, our destiny, God. And that is what it is all. And this is what I said, this is what it is all about. Now, entire thing is finally to this stage. I'm not going to this. I think we have already reached more than 70 minutes. I should enough for the day. Let's convert that into beautiful 4K video with a high quality and let this be benchmark in the quiet of spiritual science of the thing which holds its reverence to Kailash mountain and entire university. I'm not talking of Shiva. Shiva is just one part, but entire university is there in that Kailash, and all the things can be understood provided this video is clearly understood by everybody step by step. And I wish all the best to enjoy. Thank you very much.